Okay, this is how I grow orchids inside. What we're looking at here is a tote. It's not necessarily a big tote. Um, that there is a little bit of a big tote, I think 40 liters or something like that. Anyway, this is much smaller. Um, but, um, but it is cut a hole in here, and that's where a computer fan used to be. But I found it dried out the plants too much, so I removed it. But it allows air to cold air to cool air to come in through here, and then it goes out the top. And it was drying out a little bit much, so I put tape across the bottom. The reason it's above is to keep any animals or in Florida cockroaches out of the orchids. So I have two LED lights here. They're generally 15 to 50 watts. So there's PAR, which is definitely a motivation or to do something because it's a lot cooler than other types of lights. Here's something I found at um, Home Depot. This is probably, these are probably, let's say, 3,500 lux near the top. And I keep the stick in there to encourage airflow. But anyway, so what we're looking at, I don't know how well it's going to focus. But I got some epidendrum magnolias blooming and some alamphora in the bottom. A lot of these are fairly small orchids. If I can get some normal light. So anyway, this is a piece of plexiglass, because you want to keep the moisture and heat away from the, well, moisture away from the LED. Yes, the LEDs don't like temperatures much above 80, which is problematic, and moisture, which tend to happen in a greenhouse situation. So anyway, this is a smallest PVC. They're not glued together. This is, I think, about 1/2 inch, and zip tied together for with the mesh here. It's plastic mesh, not metal mesh. So the mesh is zip tied to here. It holds it together as far as that goes. I have all the plants on wall cypress for the most part. It seems to be one of the better materials. And I tend to water in the evening, in which tends to probably is why I have so much moss. But anyway, I have the whole system on a timer, and all the lights go into their own little power bar. And so I can either do it by hand, just by turning on the light, or just flipping the switch on the timer. So, and I usually water using a 1 gallon pot down there, and a 1 gallon pump sprayer, and I put 8 feet of tubing on it, and I use about 0.5 EC, which is a fertilizer, complete fertilizer, in which is 1 tablespoon per gallon of DI water. I think that makes the best feed. I'm a big fan of actually plant tissue culture media. MS medium does quite well. What's like 1 gram per liter. Well, 2 grams per liter would be the equivalent. But anyway, I found it worked quite well. Doesn't heat up too much in the summer. It stays warm in the winter. And here's a bigger tote. And I can take them out. This whole framework can come out very easily, and then I wash them out down in the shower. And the plants seem to like that quite a bit. Sometimes they just need spraying. So there's some nepenthes in there, actually some Spanish moss, some Sarcinias, and again I'm trying to keep as much airflow as possible. But anyway, this one, as I said, I think is about 6,000 lux, and so things at the bottom are going to receive less, so you can put your Phalaenopsis or Paphiopedilums down here, and then more your Lilias and whatnot above. So here's some Osteoclades. This is the Osteoclades tote, and down here is the combination of things mounted and things at in pots. So I keep them off the bottom because I don't want them sitting in water. No plant enjoys sitting in water unless it's like an aquatic plant. Although Nepenthes do fairly well. So anyway, and since I have so many, I actually got a shelving unit and replaced the supports with actually real supports. This is not terribly heavy in any way, but it does have some weight, and there's actually a slant to this building, as charming as that may be. But anyway, let's say 15 to 30 watts, so we're not using a terrible amount of power, which I'm sure everyone is happy with. But anyway, I thought this was something I might show because it's been about 13 months in Colorado, and then maybe a year or two in Florida, and so far this has been one of the better systems I have. And I might reinstall some computer fans. Here's one, and I orientated it so that it can fit over the hole, and that's where the plug-in would go, and those would be on a timer too. But it was more relevant in Florida than here. It's quite dry here in Colorado, southwestern Colorado. So there you go. I don't know if that's useful to anyone.